All right, it's 9 o'clock on this Thursday evening. This
Yes,
is the
sir.
live Zone Primetime. I'm producer Chris. That is Tony P.
What's going on, everybody? How are we doing
Friday
tonight?
Eve, Tony P.
I got to tell you,
Eve is
how are
what I
you
prefer.
feeling on this Friday Eve, my friend?
I feel unprepared for Valentine's Day.
Unprepared?
Take a look, check
Whoa.
out the National Harbor right now. The
Oh, there it is.
Capitol Hill.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
gonna
little-
show this live
it's a
picture.
shape.
They are putting a heart up. They are ready. They are putting up the grand
Absolutely.
gesture here for Valentine's Day. They've got their heart projected on the Capitol wheel, and I'm pretty sure I saw some words scrolling on it. I'm going to linger on this.
Oh, look
just
at it,
for a hot
look at it,
second.
look at it. It goes in and
some,
out.
Some words are going to appear on here next, and I'm trying to, I really want to see what they say. I saw a question mark at the end, so I'm pretty sure there is, I don't know whether it's asking somebody to be my Valentine, but if we linger on this for a couple seconds, Tony P, you came in from outside. I've been in the building all day. What's it like outside?
It's brisk. It's the second night in a row of this where it was beautiful in the afternoon and morning time. It's like 47, 48. When I got off that polar vortex of the Bethesda train station, that air just hit me like a ton of bricks. And let me ask you about this Valentine's. I'm not letting you go on this Valentine's Day thing. What is making you feel unprepared about it? Is it certain
the fact that
food
we had a
or
baby,
gifts?
No, the fact that we had a baby about a month and change ago, and as a result, that has been all-consuming.
That's understandable.
For our lives, and you know, it's still really important to me to make my wife feel special and important, and like my romantic partner, and not just a mom. And
Love that.
I'm not 100% sure that I've done an adequate job at it, Tony.
Okay,
not to get all deep and
that was
not to get all deep here.
That
on
was
this
the
and
goal of that
everything, but,
question.
we went out for our first look. You are hostage to what we want to talk about here, viewers. So I apologize in advance, but
it's all my fault.
There's word scrolling right now. See?
There it is. Look at
this
it.
is what I'm talking about.
Oh wow! It's like it says major letters and it zooms in.
Yeah, I can't tell what it says now.
Be mine. Would you be mine?
It said be mine.
Well,
Yeah.
would
All
be
right,
my
there we
two
go.
words. Here we
Listen,
go.
that was the entire reason that I was lingering on this shot. But anyway, we went out to dinner over the weekend, this past weekend. It was our first date night since we had the baby. It was lovely.
That's
it was
awesome.
Lovely, but
and you know, again, you both are going through an incredible moment in your lives and a lot of stress and just chaos too. And you know what? It's important.
Any parents watching out there, any new parents, any long-time experienced parents who want to offer some unsolicited free advice for how to make that first Valentine's special
chat right there
for new parents, and you know, for the baby too, because I bought her a little outfit, a little Valentine.
I was going to ask you that. You did? Wow.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture during the commercial.
That's going to be
just her outfit this past weekend. So
there's a Valentine's Day book for kids about Saint Valentine. I don't know if they still have that book, but it gives the whole explanation of it, like night before Valentine's Day and what the meaning of it is. And I think I mean, my mother read that to me, I would say, for about the first 5, 6 years. And especially when I got into like grade school, we started doing Valentine's Day exchanges and stuff. And I used to love reading about that story every single year.
This little girl loves her bedtime stories. I don't get to be present for a ton of them. Sometimes we try to do them virtually while we're here in the office, but man, she you know, those eyes start to get a little heavy.
Oh yeah.
You know, you try to do them in a little soothy, sing-songy voice. Anyway,
the power of reading,
we have
reading Rainbow.
Plenty of time to talk about Valentine and more, but we do want to get into some of the headlines here, and we're going to start off out in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, as a matter of fact. This is live drone footage from the Fox aerial team above Nancy Guthrie's house in Tucson, Arizona. I want to get the courtesy correct, Tony P. Bear with me.
Of course, yeah.
This is the Fox flight team.
Wow.
The Fox flight team above Nancy Guthrie's house right now. All right, I'm just seeing I was just seeing a breaking headline from our Fox News Now friends. I'm going to keep an eye on that. They just took it down. Not sure if there was any new developments that we didn't know
TV
about in the meantime.
Too.
Thank you. But first at 9, the search for Nancy Guthrie continues. Day 12. It's now been almost 2 weeks since the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie disappeared. Today, investigators were back at the 84-year-old's Tucson home, and police made another public plea for help. Fox News senior multimedia reporter Caroline Elliott has the very latest. Take a listen.
Savannah Guthrie posting an emotional new video on Instagram Thursday showing her and her siblings with their mom when they were kids, writing, "Our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope." Nearly 2 weeks in, hundreds of detectives are now working on the case as investigators have received thousands of tips.
This is the exact antithesis of a cold case. public interest out here in the Tucson area is through the roof. Each day we learn new developments, and that is advancing the investigation step by step.
Thursday, investigators were back at Nancy Guthrie's home with what appeared to be video forensic analysis equipment, possibly trying to get more clues from that cryptic surveillance video released earlier this week showing a masked person outside the home.
The things we can see with the mask, like eyes, nose bridge, mouth shape, and of course the shape and depth of the face. The FBI uses all these things, including an analysis of height and weight, which I'm sure they have, to come up with the idea for a potential subject.
The Pima County Sheriff sent out a new update Thursday asking neighbors with home surveillance cameras to send in their footage. Investigators are looking for anything of cars, pedestrians, or anything out of the ordinary between January 1st and February 2nd. It's now been 1 week since the Pima County Sheriff's Department has had any kind of press conference here, and we're told at this time it's unclear exactly when that next press conference would be. In Tucson, Arizona, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
So this is a live picture right now. It's kind of dark, but that's ground footage of Nancy Guthrie's home as well, where the media has been staked out. But Tony P., you know, like we said last night, you talked about this last night with our guests about this, not lack of information from law enforcement, but not being back in front of the cameras.
Exactly, the strategy.
After, in the beginning, it was a full court press seemingly.
Absolutely. What was really interesting, we were talking to Marley about this last night in the whole, the fraud analysis, the forensic analysis. One of the things that she brought up that I thought was really brilliant was the chain of custody of this crime scene, where they weren't really, again, like they didn't really like, what word am I looking for, like corner it off. Yeah, or kind of quarantine.
In and out.
It was very quick. I mean, people were allowed back in, family, the media was allowed to get pretty close. There wasn't a lot of quarantining or chain of custody issues and processes that were done on this crime scene for the last week or so. And now I know there was a tense scene outside Nancy Guthrie's home today as they're trying to do evidence collection. And Marley mentioned this last night as well, that timeline of not having technicians out there to do proper forensic testing and other items such as analysis around the property or different parts of the street, for example, that may have destroyed evidence and potentially made this timeline even longer for investigators. So what's really interesting to me is, and we pray that there's a safe return for Nancy Guthrie, but if and when this case is solved and comes to an end, will that be analyzed of like how this timeline happened and what investigators and the feds, all of that?
Apologies for the phrasing, but a post-mortem of how they responded.
Right, exactly. Again, we don't know if it's a post-mortem at all, but just an analysis, of course.
An analysis, yeah. So this is also what the FBI in Phoenix posted earlier today on social media. Today, the FBI increasing its reward up to $100,000 for information leading to the location of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. New identifying details about the suspect in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie have been confirmed after a forensic analysis of the doorbell camera footage. The suspect is described as a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", tall with an average build. In the video, he is wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack backpack. You can see the pictures posted there as well. We hope this updated description will help concentrate the public tips we are receiving. Since February 1st, 2026, the FBI has collected over 13,000 tips from the public related to this case. Tony P., they also put out the call for basically any camera footage, home footage from a month earlier, dating all the way back. We heard Caroline Elliott mention that, for about a full month in advance, basically looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Exactly. Well, looking to see if there's a timeline to this of, is there potential connection previously between Nancy Guthrie and the kidnapper in that month before to kind of retrace the steps is what I was gathering from that reporting. Is that they're trying to retrace steps to figure out if they can reverse engineer the entire just awful situation that happened in those hours leading up to her kidnapping. And what's interesting too is also the discovery of gloves and that evidence that was found around Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. And what does that mean for forensic testing? I just saw before we came on the air that there is a little bit of confusion of where those gloves are being tested with federal resources versus state and local resources. Where is that evidence going to be collected? Some are saying it's going to be flown to Florida or other headquarters where the FBI, I think it's in Quantico as well, where they have a lot of testing capabilities. Those type of things, the timing behind that, how quick can you get that evidence turned around to make this picture even clearer? Because now they've doubled the reward to $100,000. Based on the forensics of the tape that we saw, they can develop not just height and weight, but some of those facial features. That's one of the biggest mistakes that's being reported that the kidnapper made. Again, mistakes, it's a horrible way to phrase that. But potential openings to find this horrible suspect is through the eyes. And again, the way that mask was structured, the nose, the mouth, potentially putting together a profile of what this person looks like, their habits, things like the coat, for example, and the bags,
Tony,
this person a hiker, all that stuff.
So interesting too. Remember going back to the Luigi Mangione case too,
yes,
and how the eyebrows were another distinct feature that people were focusing in on. Of course, we will have much more on this story as it develops. If there are any breaks in the case over the course of the next 49 minutes or so, we will bring them to you live.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, Tony P, we do want to get to what else you have been keeping an eye on. Let's talk about what Tony's watching.
And of course, we're starting here in D.C. because it's the gateway to America, I call it. That's my new title for it. The Trump administration moved today to dismantle the legal foundation for federal climate regulation, with the EPA formally proposing to revoke the 2009 endangerment finding, the scientific determination that greenhouse gases threaten public health and welfare under the Clean Air Act. That finding has underpinned vehicle emissions limits, power plant regulations, and broader climate rules for more than 15 years. The administration also signaled that it would revisit tailpipe standards for passenger vehicles and heavy-duty trucks, setting up what is expected to be a prolonged legal battle with Democratic-led states and environmental groups that argue the EPA is required by law to regulate carbon emissions and its effects. In Minnesota, federal officials confirmed today that Operation Metro Surge, a months-long immigration enforcement operation centered in Minneapolis-St. Paul, is ending. The surge, of course, involved thousands of reassigned ICE agents and coordinated federal resources. It sparked widespread protests, lawsuits, and national scrutiny following the controversial arrests and deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy during the enforcement encounters. Border officials said the agents will be returning to their original assignments, while critics continue to question tactics used during the operation and if accountability will happen from federal or state resources. At the same time, federalized National Guard deployments in Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland have been concluded, with U.S. Northern Command confirming that troops operating under Title X authority were withdrawn after extended legal disputes and objections from governors and mayors who argued federal intervention escalated tensions rather than calmed them. The administration maintained that the deployments were lawful and said it retains the authority to redeploy those forces if necessary. Back here in Washington, a federal judge temporarily blocked Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth from taking punitive action against Senator Mark Kelly over a video in which Kelly urged service members to resist quote-unquote unlawful orders. The Pentagon had considered reducing Kelly's retired military rank and associated benefits. The judge ruled that the proposed action likely violated First Amendment protections and ordered the Pentagon to pause enforcement while continuing litigation proceeds. And also on Capitol Hill, Homeland Security funding negotiations remain stalled and basically are putting DHS funding at risk for a shutdown at this point. Senate Democrats demanded additional oversight provisions for immigration enforcement, including clear identification requirements for ICE and expanded body camera use. Republicans rejected those conditions, arguing that they would hinder enforcement operations. Without a deal, portions of DHS face funding disruptions in the near future. In a closely watched technology trial and social media trial in Los Angeles, Instagram chief Adam Mosseri testified that he does not believe users can be clinically addicted to the platform. Plaintiffs argue that Instagram's design, including algorithmic feeds, notifications, and infinite scroll features, intentionally fosters compulsive use among teens in particular. Mosseri distinguished between addiction and problematic behavior, saying that Meta has introduced safeguards, including parental controls and screen time tools, as the case moves forward. The housing market showed renewed weakness in January today. Existing home sales fell 8.4% to a 3.91 million annualized rate, the slowest pace in more than 2 years. While mortgage rates eased slightly, median home prices remain elevated and inventory levels have stayed historically tight at the same time, limiting affordability and keeping first-time home buyers like myself on the sidelines. In the world of entertainment, Kimberly Vanderbeek shared a GoFundMe created by friends following her husband James James Van Der Beek's death after his battle with colorectal cancer. The fundraiser, which cited mounting medical bills and financial uncertainty for the couple's 6 children, has raised more than $1 million as of this week, quickly surpassing its initial goal. Also in entertainment, actress Margaret Qualley also offered rare public comments about her marriage to Jack Antonoff, describing him as her quote-unquote home and someone who makes her feel grounded and safe in the world of entertainment. She spoke about how he encourages her creative risks, celebrates her independence, and supports her behind the scenes without competing for attention. Qualley said their relationship is rooted in friendship and humor, and she credited that foundation with giving her the confidence that she has both on set and in everyday life. And also, quick note, she is featured in the Bleachers, that's Jack Antonoff's band, new music video, and it's a really cool, wholesome music video and song. Go check it out. The Bleachers are one of my favorite bands of all time. And finally, for our Black History Month Fact of the Day, one of my favorite artists of all time and writers and creators, Toni Morrison, won the Pulitzer Prize for Beloved and became the first black woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1993. Through novels that centered black memory, identity, trauma, and resilience, she reshaped the American literacy canon. As an editor as well, she championed black voices who might otherwise have gone unheard, leaving a literary and cultural legacy that continues to influence generations of all stripes worldwide. And I have to tell you, if anybody wants to learn about her incredible work, read Beloved, Song of Solomon, excellent book as well. And just listen to her Charlie Rose interview from 1993 when she talks about all of her books and just about race and its impact in America and around the world. Just a truly brilliant scholar and artist.
I was distracted because I was pulling up my favorite Bleachers song so that we could have a little.
So you're also a fan.
Bump music as well.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Antonoff, in case you don't know, has also produced some of Taylor Swift's biggest songs.
Yes,
as well.
I should have added that context.
He is this is one of my favorites.
Oh, truly one of the nicest guys. I have a pretty cool story. So Jack Antonoff actually follows my account, which is pretty cool. And I got a DM from him almost 2 years ago now. He said, "Love your stuff. Do you want to come to my show with the anthem?"
What?
And I went, gave me great seats at the anthem, like kind of with the VIP section, not to be braggish, but the VIP section where you can sit, they have the free food and everything. And then he says, "Come back behind stage." We ended up hanging out with the whole band, him, his parents, his sister, who's a great creator herself online, has a great clothing brand. We were there for 2 hours, hanging out backstage with Jack Antonoff and his team, and
I'm going to turn Tony P's mic off because I'm so jealous. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with this gorgeous Valentine-themed live picture, Be Mine, according to the Capitol Wheel out at National Harbor. This is our Fox 5 Sky Camera. We're going to take a little break. Coming back, we're laying down the law because it's Thursday night. Jay Carter and Marissa George will join us with some Legally Speaking.
Yes.
Coming up next. We'll be right back.
This morning early before my family, from this dream where she was trying to show me how a life could move from the darkness. She said to get better, so I put a bullet where I should have put a helmet, and I crashed my car cause I wanna get carried away.
You hear me, Carter?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I like the Valentine's Day theme.
right, welcome back to the Live Zone Primetime. It is Thursday night, Tony P. You know what that means. It is time to lay down the law.
That's a great name for that segment. I am a fan of that.
Live, because it's time to lay down the law, are
Yes,
the
it
host
is.
of Legally Speaking. We're talking about Jay Carter and Marissa George.
All right.
Welcome back to the Live Zone Primetime.
See you guys.
Hi. How's it going?
I'm ready to learn. I'm back on the jury again. I'm ready.
Tony P. is back on the jury.
Where's my gavel? I don't think jury doesn't have a gavel.
All right, so just a reminder for viewers who don't know, Jay, tell us a little bit about Legally Speaking.
So Legally Speaking is a segment that Marissa and I put together to make the case for your favorite legal hot topics. So not just celebrity news, but even in the political space, anything that touches the law, we help make the case, whether it be for the prosecution or the defense, or in civil cases, plaintiff versus defendant.
And if people want to tune in, they want to follow along for more details, how can they do it?
YouTube, Legally Speaking Show. So if you go to youtube.com and you type in the handle Legally Speaking TV Show, it'll come up, but the handle is youtube.com/Legally Speaking Show.
Perfect. And Marissa, it has been a busy week here for you at Fox 5. You've basically moved in at this point, so welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Just remember the OGs, okay? Just remember the OGs.
I could never forget you, Chris.
All right, that's all I wanted to hear. All right, first up on the docket tonight, Jay, Don Lemon, and I know Tony P.
Oh,
Tony
yes.
P. he cares about this case.
Very much so.
Awesome. All right.
So Marissa's actually going to give us the facts and make the case for the prosecution as it relates to Don Lemon and the journalist, and I'll make the case for Don Lemon.
Yeah. So former CNN anchor and independent journalist Don Lemon was arrested last month, January 2026, after covering an anti-ICE protest that allegedly disrupted a worship service at a church in Minnesota. So federal prosecutors are saying that the protest interfered with people's exercising their religious worship rights, so the First Amendment rights. So charges here are conspiracy against the civil rights, interference with individuals exercising religious freedom, and some possible other additional counts under federal laws. So I am going to talk a little bit about the religious rights issues, and that prosecutors are likely going to argue here that the protests disrupted the churchgoers' ability to worship, which the federal law treats as protected civil rights. So if authorities believe someone helped organize or participate in interference during someone's religious worship time, they can charge them under the civil rights statute, and that's what's happening here. So they are saying Don Lemon allegedly participated in planning the protest, even though he claims he was there for just covering it for journalistic reasons. So they're likely going to argue, because he was at that planning meeting, that he likely is guilty.
And I'm going to make the case for Don Lemon and the journalists, because if you're just kind of catching up on this story, it was Don Lemon, obviously. He's the headliner because he's at CNN. But there were 3 other journalists that were also arrested and charged with similar charges. Also, recently, Don Lemon's assistant, who is a student who was just assisting him locally on the ground, has also now been arrested and charged. And so, as Marissa stated, they're saying that their journalism went beyond just documenting the protest. And so Don Lemon, the journalist, and the student will argue something quite different. They will say that they, in fact, were not active participants in the protest, that they, in fact, Don Lemon actually covered himself really well. He said on camera, "I am not here as a protester. I am here," and I'm paraphrasing, "to document this." So he actually said it on camera, which I'm so happy he did, because I think that's actually going to save him as it relates to being prosecuted over preventing someone's freedom of exercise of religion. Their argument is going to be, hey, we also have the Constitution, and we have freedom of the press. So Don Lemon and the journalist and his student assistant are definitely going to lean into the freedom of the press, and then the plaintiff will probably again lean into how their activities even if they were the freedom of the press, it interfered. It interfered with their exercise of religion because they were actually in an active church service when this happened.
I have a feeling that the jury's not going to take long to deliberate this time around.
I have one question. One quick question. So it's not illegal, for example, if the protest, that act was an illegal predicate from the people planning it. If you're a journalist and go and cover it, and yes, you're inside the church, that's not illegal if Don Lemon didn't have anything to planning, any of that. It's legal for him to go cover that, even though the act of protest in the church may have been illegal from the protesters.
That's correct. He could. The thing that really is going to be the turning point for this case will really be whether he actively planned this protest, which would then be infringing on people's rights.
And the problem is he did attend the planning meeting.
Yes.
But again, his argument is going to be in a journalistic capacity. And their argument is going to be, well, if you're attending the planning meeting, that's conspiracy. You're actually helping to plan it. So he has to really lean into, hey, I was doing an expose from beginning to end, from the documentation all the way up to the actual event. He's going to have to really lean into that.
It's a fascinating collision of two First Amendment
it's going at each other.
Yes.
Okay, you ready, Judge?
I'm ready for the verdict.
I think part of me thinks a lot of people embed themselves as journalists into situations. They do exposés. They're behind the scenes. I always err on the side of journalists. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm going to acquit Mr. Don Lemon, not guilty.
Don Lemon, not guilty. You heard it from Tony P. You heard it from Tony P. All right, that's not the only case we're keeping an eye on tonight. We're also keeping an eye on another case that Tony P. has been fascinated by from a purely journalistic standpoint.
Yes.
We're talking about the Epstein files. Two high-profile hip-hop stars named in unredacted files. Jay, start us off.
So just quickly, if you don't know the facts of this particular case, Jay-Z and Pusha T are obviously both hip-hop rappers. And they were both mentioned in an FBI reported call that was included in the Epstein, some of the Epstein files that were recently unredacted and released. And so what happens is right now, if something were to happen to me, I can call the FBI and I can report it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be corroborated, but I can report it. And so what you're looking at is a report of a woman alleging that Jay-Z was a part of some sort of sexual assault with Harvey Weinstein. And then you also have someone reporting that Pusha T drugged, and again, I don't think it's the same individual. So in the second case, you have someone reporting that they were both drugged and assaulted, and Pusha T was a part of that. So again, these are things that were reported, they were released within the files. And now we have a case where prosecutors can use these files to essentially, if they want, they don't have to, but they could create a criminal case against Jay-Z. They could create a criminal case against Pusha T if they chose to. Now, would this be federal? Would this be state? State, I think we would probably be past the statute of limitations. So they would have to probably figure out a way to bring this federally if they were going to ever bring it at all. But it would definitely fall under some sort of assault charges if they were ever to be filed. Because again, disclaimer, again, this is just for information purposes only. There are no actual active cases against Jay-Z and Pusha T. It's just that now that this information has been released through the files, charges could be created if prosecutors thought it was important to do so.
Yeah, and the type of charges that we're looking at here could be conspiracy, trafficking conspiracy statutes, so allegedly agreeing to participate in illegal trafficking or exploitation. You can look at sex trafficking of minors, if there's any type of recruitment, transportation, or exploitation of any minors. So it'll be really interesting to see if the prosecution does bring any charges against Pusha T and Jay-Z. It's definitely, again, not something just because they're named in some files does not mean that they are guilty of anything. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
When were those calls made in terms of the timeline, and has there been other documented evidence in the files of Jay-Z and Pusha T's interactions with Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, so this FBI tip came in 2019, and the alleged assaults or alleged actions that Jay-Z or Pusha T did do allegedly upon this victim took place in 2006 and 2007, but the tip didn't come in until 2019. So, and what was your other question, Tenny?
Oh, just is there other documented evidence of his connection with Epstein?
This is as far as it goes as far as the documentation with Jay-Z and Pusha T. I personally have also spent a lot of hours going through these files, and I have not seen anything beyond this document.
Well, maybe not enough information out there to render a verdict on this one, Tony P.
I mean, I don't think a verdict. I mean, I would definitely investigate, if not pursue an indictment. I would definitely do that. I think there are many other cases, such as Les Wexner, that could be prosecuted today for guilty, yes, among others. So I would say yes for those type of folks, but I don't have enough information to go off of this. I would probably maybe indict, but I don't know if I would convict at this point. I would probably do a hung jury at this point.
It'd be really hard to even indict at this point. It seems that this was, again, an unverified complaint. There's
right.
no evidence. There was no. It didn't
well,
seem
remember,
to be.
you can indict a ham sandwich. That's
yes,
how
you
right.
can.
So I probably would indict.
So you probably can get an indictment, but
I just don't see it happening. I just do not see it happening.
Right,
but,
with further investigation too.
All right. Jay Carter, Marissa George, thank you so much for spending another Thursday night here with us on the Live Zone Primetime.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, and where people go for more information, one more time.
YouTube.com/Legally Speaking Show.
All
and
right.
You can find Marissa, of course, Marissa.George on Instagram, and I am Ash J. Carter also on Instagram.
Excellent. All right, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you so
We're gonna
much.
take a quick break, leave you with this live picture from our Fox 5 Skycam showing some love to National Harbor. When we come back, we're talking about love, we're talking about rom-coms, we are talking about a trip to Italy. Solo Mio star Mr. Kim Coates is going to join us live.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back.
I can barely hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yay. There you are. Can't wait. Thanks, buddy.
Buonasera, signore.
Hey, I'm just gonna need to move some things around with my reservation.
Is there something wrong?
Look, I think we both know things didn't go too well today. What's going on?
She was just here, and then she wasn't.
If I was in your position, I would enjoy the package myself.
Go on my honeymoon.
Honeymoon, vacation, call it what you want.
Sometimes gravity comes so fast, I don't know where I'm falling to.
Is the seat taken?
Sorry, do I know you?
You on that honeymoon package?
Yes.
Where's your two?
That's personal.
Oh, it's a no-show. Hey, Scoozy, big tuna. He's gonna need that. Got left at the altar.
No, I never said that.
So just in time for Valentine's Day, Tony P. How about a trip to the motherland?
Oh,
the homeland?
I was just there in Rome, so I felt so attached to that scene, and like that delivery was spot on.
All right, well, we can't make it there right now, but you can head to a movie theater and enjoy a trip to Italy. That was part of the trailer for Solo Mio, a new rom-com starring Kevin James as a groom stranded in Rome, heartbroken in the world's happiest city, but with one determined local and a few meddling vacation couples in his corner. His ruined honeymoon becomes an adventure he never expected, because sometimes, Tony P., heartbreak is just the first chapter of a better story. Joining us now live to talk about the movie and more is star Mr. Kim Coates. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Live Zone Primetime tonight.
Well, boys, I am definitely one of those meddling honeymooners trying to pull Kevin James out of his funk by being left at the altar. That would be me.
Yeah, that would be you. And I have two questions. First and foremost, congratulations. Before was this as much fun to film as it was to watch, is my first question. My second question is, in real life, would you be that meddling guy who would be dragging people out on a dance floor, singing Drift Away by Dobie Gray, taking shots and more?
No, I would not be that guy. No, I would be hiding in the corner with my own bottle of wine. I would offer assistance only if he insisted. But to your first question, come on, boys. Kevin James and I have been, we've been friends for a long time, and I've been lucky enough to work with him 4 or 5 times. And he said to me a couple of years ago, Coatsy, I'm writing a rom-com for you and me. And I went, yeah, sure you are. No, I'm writing a rom-com for you and me. And I went, yeah, sure you are. Well, he did. And so when you get to go to Rome for 6-7 weeks, and then Tuscany for a week, and film this incredible little story that is so full of, I mean, come on, boys, we need this so bad right now. We need love. We need listening and love and Valentine's Day. And the world is so crazy. It's so crazy. So this film, I'm so happy that it's such a big hit. I'm so happy people are seeing me in something other than riding motorcycles and shooting people. Like
that's a bad thing? Okay, that actually leads me to my next question.
That's pretty solid.
This is a little bit of a departure for you in that sense. So what was this? Was this a fun change of pace, and what has the reaction been like from fans?
Best. It was the best time. You guys know me. I'm a character actor. I've done a million movies, a million TV shows, from playing Brigham Young with American Primeval to being on Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, whatever. This, to do a romantic comedy, lads, for the first time in my life, and have so much fun, it just, I'm still pinching myself that we actually pulled it off.
Wow. Now, when you approach, you've played incredibly powerful characters, intense characters, and again, it's intense in a rom-com setting as well. You have that intensity across the board. How do you figure out how to play these characters and what's driving them underneath? Do you start with things like, what does this character want? What are they looking for? Or what are they afraid of? Because in a situation like this rom-com, you're kind of with someone who has just lost something. So how do you approach what's driving that character?
What a great question. I have to just say that Allison Hannigan, who plays my wife, star, legend. She plays my wife. So we called each other when we both got cast, and we said, okay, so this is our 3rd honeymoon. We keep getting divorced, but then we fall in love again, then we keep getting divorced. So let's figure out, so we figured it out. And, I came from a very, very rich family. My father was full of cash. We hang out in Vegas as much as we can. We drink as much champagne as we can. And now we're going to Italy. So that's all the prep that I did, was figuring out my background with Allison. And the stuff with Kevin, you guys know this, right? He's a brilliant, he's a legend comedian. And he's an incredible actor. And for him and the 2 Kinane brothers who directed this film, Chuck and Daniel, to let us ad-lib this entire movie. I mean, yes, there was a script. It was an incredible script. The boys wrote it with Kevin. It's incredible. But every day, boys, we went, okay, do another one. Make it up. Do another one. And so for me to ad-lib like that with Kevin, day in and day out, was, I'll never forget it.
That's really cool, because that's very Scorsese-esque of a Goodfellas set years ago.
So I literally have written on here a question about that when it comes to ad-libbing as well. Was the earring really yours, and did Kevin James basically call you out as a pirate? Was that in the script, or was that just you two busting balls?
That was not in the script. No, that was definitely a midlife crisis for Jules, who I play.
Okay.
Who has and it's not even just an earring, it's a hoop. It's a pirate hoop. I could be a grandma. It even says it in the scene. So no, that was actually written in the script for sure.
When you're acting with people like Kevin James that you know and you have this rapport, how does that allow you to take risks as an actor, really pursue, maybe a different type of ad lib or just that comfort level? How does that impact your ability to, act and figure out where you want to go with a scene?
It doesn't get any better than that, lads. I mean, acting to me, all the stage I did, all the Broadway I did, I was the youngest Macbeth ever at Stratford. It all started in a very, very insular, esoteric, beautiful theatrical way. When you go to film and television, you don't get a lot of rehearsal, right? You have to do a lot of prep early. You have to do a lot of thinking early, and you only hope that you can be with someone who's willing to play. Acting is not acting. If you start acting, you see it on camera, you're done. Acting is listening. You listen, you respond. I internalize everything. So to be with Kevin and Jonathan Rumi, I mean, and like I said, Allison and Julianne, all the girls, we had such chemistry. I think that's why it's doing so well.
Right.
People can see the chemistry on the screen and with the music. And you guys said, Chris, early about you're in Rome. We're in Rome. We're not in Cleveland. I love Cleveland. Don't get me wrong, but we're not in Cleveland making it look like Rome. We're actually in Rome. So I think that Italy itself has a part in this movie that people, they want to go see it again and again. It's really uplifting people in love, in humor. Yeah. There's a twist at the end that you don't see coming. Yeah, it's really great.
I mean, Rome it kind of disarms you a little bit as a presence, and I can just sense that throughout the movie. Like it's a very disarming presence, and that's how love should be.
Yes. Love.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Gia has a great line about not making things weird, which I love. And then Neil has a line that I love too, that I wanted to talk to you about. Flawed with a foundation. Your relationships in this movie are flawed with a foundation. That was a theme that I loved in this movie. What do you hope audiences take away from it as well?
Wow, that's a very, very astute question. I think they should take away everything. I think Kevin says it. You just said about what Jonathan Rumi said. No relationship is perfect. Every relationship has flaws. It's about listening and understanding and respecting and loving and giggling and laughing. It's just so hysterical that these Canadian boys, there's 28,000 of them in this movie. They write it, they direct it, they edit it, they do the music. I mean, they came up with this concept that my guy and my gal, this is our third honeymoon. And if you stick around to the end of this movie, which of course you will, there's a little back scene B playing, and we might even get married a fourth time. Like, think about that. I mean, are we Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton? I don't know. But love is always complicated. But now it's Valentine's weekend. It's a huge hit, and I'm just so happy to be talking to you guys. And Kevin and I have not stopped to impress with this movie in about a month now. So I don't know if it'll ever stop because we're just so happy that people are going to be happy going to a theater, smuggling a Mickey of vodka. I don't care what you do. Go see this movie, buy some popcorn, and get ready to laugh and cry. I mean, I do. Yeah. It's so fun.
Let me ask you this. For a lot of the Gen Z audience that I talk to, we can't sit through movies because of these stupid things we have, right? And it can really, hurt our ability to understand the inner meanings. As an actor who's been, through countless film and TV and has been in this, what would be your advice for viewers as they watch the movie to stay present? What should they be looking for as themes to really pick up on about love and about just being present when chaos seems to be around you?
I think that this film, because it's a romantic comedy, is different than most films that are out there today in the theaters, right? There's not a lot of romantic comedies anymore.
No.
We seem to have gotten away from that genre, right, boys? I mean,
yes.
We really have. And so right away, Gen Z, Gen B, Gen D, whatever you want to call
Alpha.
Alpha, call it whatever you want. If you go to this theater with a buddy or a girl or a date or your mom, I don't care who you're going with, you're going to walk away falling in love with Italy. You boys talked about going to Italy at the very start of this. You're going to love Italy. You're going to love Kevin James. He's never been better. He's a brilliant actor. And the way he plays his his pain and his sorrow, and then try to get on with his life in Italy. And knuckleheads like me and Jonathan come along with our ladies, and then Gia, Nicole from Italy, Gramano, she's just brilliant. And meeting her and the big surprise singer at the end, I don't even know if we can talk about this
I wasn't going to bring it up, but man, oh man.
Are we allowed? Are we going to go to jail?
No, we won't go to jail.
About this.
We're on streaming.
Just name them. Name them.
But I mean, you know, we have one of the most famous singers ever in the world that comes.
And Kevin James had to sing with him. That in and of itself. Hey, listen, before we let you go, on a more personal note here, and this one goes for my guy down here too. I forget
him in the second box.
We're going to go into minor spoiler territory here. Minor spoiler territory, but it shows up in the trailer.
Yeah.
Kevin James on that motorcycle, as a real motorcycle rider, did you get any say in what kind of bike he got to climb on there at the end? And did you get to do any rides through the Italian countryside? And if Tony P wants to buy a motorcycle and learn how to ride, I have volunteered to teach him. What kind of bike should we put him on?
Well, I'm a Harley guy because I was so lucky to get, you know, I have somewhere between 3 and 5 Harleys in my garage. So you can figure out how many I have. And they were all during Sons of Anarchy time and whatever. So I'm a big Harley guy, but I love bikes, period. But that day that Kevin got on that motorcycle and did that stuff with Gia in the film near the end of the movie, I wasn't in that scene, but I watched and I went, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. You better not screw this up, buddy. Safety first. Come on, Kev. So he knew I was watching. He was very nervous. Very nervous.
Now, I got to ask you from a practical perspective for motorcycles. So, as someone who's kind of a square, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of like this, you know, quirky
Nothing
dude.
wrong with that.
That isn't exactly Ray Liotta in Wild Hogs type look, or you with Sons of Anarchy, right? Do you think it's okay for someone like me to embrace that side of me? And how do I go about and do that? Because like I want it, but I don't want it to seem so inauthentic.
We're gonna start.
Start right now.
Loosen up.
Get the hair going.
A little slick, like a little bit further back, right?
Yeah, there we go. Whatever. Get some sunglasses. Protect your eyeballs.
That's a start.
Chris knows what he's doing.
I absolutely love that. Oh my God.
Mr. Kim Coates, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Live Zone Primetime. This was fantastic. Congratulations on the movie. Everyone needs to go out and check it out. You can check it out in theaters right now. Solo Mio, now playing in theaters, perfect for Valentine's Day weekend. Tony P, how great was that?
That was so much fun. I had like 5 more questions about the crap that I could ask him.
But we have another guest waiting in the wings. We're going to talk to Ryan Lynch all about travel and adventure. Coming up on the other side of the break. Mr. Kim Coates, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right.
Awesome.
You're up after the Up. Welcome back to the Live Zone Prime Time.
Look, I'm not gonna
lie
there
to
it
you,
is.
It sucks outside lately.
It
It has
does.
been awful out there. So if people are interested in a little bit of a getaway, Ryan Lynch, you are the man to talk to because you are our amusement park and travel buddy. You have hit some recently.
I have.
And then you are going to share your picks for us tonight.
Yes, let's start off with the Evermore. This is Conrad. This is a Hilton hotel, and you want to go to the Caribbean, Chris, but you don't want to have to leave the country. This is where you're going to want to go to.
Wow.
Okay, so this is located only 3 miles outside of Walt Disney World. So you can get your Disney vacation in, but you can also have a amazing, look at this. This is gorgeous, okay?
That is, wow.
So this is 433 rooms. They got 61 suites. It was opened in January 2024, but what you're going for is that lagoon, okay? That's 8 acres, okay? 17 million gallons. And it's surrounded by 20 acres of white sand. Look at that, everything you need. That is an automatic suntan lotion dispenser.
Are you kidding me?
Got sun bum just around the place. Your towels, your chairs.
Can I ask a really stupid question?
Sure.
Conrad at the Evermore. So,
Yes.
like most amusement parks, theme parks, when I think of things like that,
Right.
there's like a movie studio tied to it or something
Right,
like
a
that.
ride.
What is the ownership of
So Conrad is owned by the Hilton.
Oh, the Hiltons,
Evermore-
okay.
The Evermore is their own property. It's 1,100 acre property. Look at that boat. I mean, you can get boats, you can get
Looks like the Caribbean.
kayaks.
It does.
That is,
It's
yeah,
gorgeous.
It's like a trip to the Caribbean. That is amazing.
100%. Now you're going to see this amazing. This is a 1-bedroom suite that we had. We did pay for our own room. Conrad didn't pick up the bill. Next time, though, Conrad. Next
He
time.
wouldn't mind, is what
I
he's
would
saying.
not.
Exactly.
I would
Not
not
mind.
Evermore. No problem.
That's right. Either one.
So,
Come on,
but
baby.
gorgeous. Now, from our room, you can actually see the fireworks view at Epcot.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
they're that
so-
close.
It's all pretty
together.
close.
Only
Yeah.
3 miles away.
All right.
So we ate here at Sophia's Trattoria. Unbelievable food. Look at this spread on breakfast that's coming up. It's just gorgeous. Are you a pancake or a French toast?
I am. Oh, it just depends. I mean, if I'm there for a
There's
few
no
days,
wrong answer
I'm
to
going
it.
to definitely go back and forth a little
Okay,
bit.
all right.
Interchange.
Well, if you're going to go to Sophia's Trattoria, you definitely check out
Whoa, those waffles.
right
Those look
there.
so
thank you very
good.
much, Chris. But look at those French toast. It's on like a custard, a lemon custard bed. Unbelievable. Nice little time-lapse photography from our room. Just gorgeous. And you do not feel like you're in Florida. You do feel like you're in the Caribbean if you're at the Evermore.
amazing.
Yeah,
that's
totally
that's
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Oh my
All right,
God.
so you mentioned Disney,
Yes.
so let's head over to
So right down the street, we attended an amazing party. I do want to give a shout out to that guy right there, Justice. He does work for Disney, and he did give us a private ride on a pontoon boat through the 7 seas. Very incredible. This is the after hours party for Disney. Now, if you're a person who wants to hit all the rides, who wants to see the fireworks show, but you want to do it with a little less weight, the after party is going to be something for you, okay?
So
now
if you're let's
Sure.
if you're a big shot like that,
Big shit, me?
Oh, Tony.
Oh my! What are you
Yes.
talking about?
We heard
You
that
can't wait in
stories.
line
Yeah.
I am an E or P list celebrity. They say I'm like
Now,
way
this is
down
their
there.
new parade. This is gorgeous. This is a brand new parade. Now, you do get in early. The party starts at 10. It goes to 1 a.m., but they do give you early access at 7. So first thing we did was hit the People Mover. Right after the People Mover, we got in line to watch this parade, and it is just incredible.
And how often is this?
So how often is the after hours
Yes.
party? So couple times a month. The next time you're going to be able to hit it is actually February 23rd. They do have 2 dates in March, the 2nd of March and also the 9th of March.
Oh.
So ticket prices, you're going to be running $175 to $199. Now you say to yourself, well, how much is a price to the Magic Kingdom normally? You're looking at $139 to $199. So pretty in line with that. The difference is going to be the weight and the refreshments. So you go to this party, they're going to be giving you Diet Coke, Sprite, bottles of water. That's all free, along with Mickey bars and popcorn. So you can see right there, I had 2 Mickey bars. I enjoyed both. It was 30 degrees while I was there. But look at this fireworks show.
But I was going to say, spring break is right around the corner. Too.
Right around the corner. Now, you do get your own exclusive fireworks show. It is the Disney Enchantment. And the only place that you can see the Disney Enchantment fireworks show is at the after hours party. So the best thing though, I think, if you're gonna wanna ride rides is really to hit the after hours party. The most popular ride right now in Magic Kingdom is the Tron Light Cycles. Usually gonna be running about a 75-minute to a 90-minute wait, but look how empty it is. That's right there in Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is generally just packed wall to wall. At the after hours party, it's just you, your friends, your family.
Do they limit the number of tickets?
They absolutely do.
Smart.
They absolutely do. And a lot of people with kids and everything, they're not going to want to stay till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So for us, we were able to hit all the rides we wanted to do multiple times, including, you're going to see me right here scroll through some of the wait times on the app, and you're going to see that Tron was like a 15 to a 20-minute wait. And there's some awesome footage of us getting on Tron too that's coming up. But we loved it. We went last year for my birthday to After Hours. This year, Disney hosted us for the party. And I'll tell you what, don't threaten me with a good time. I'm all for it. And if you haven't been on Tron, you gotta ride Tron. It's incredible. It's incredible. So next up, let's talk about Epcot for a second, okay?
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Epcot is known for their festivals, Tony. So this festival, Festival of the Arts, it actually started in 2017. It is their shortest festival, but that doesn't mean that it's not the best festival. So it's gonna focus in on all these different, you got art installations, you also have artists coming out showing their wares to the public, allowing people to come in and see what they've got. They've got all these different food booths that are open. They call them food studios. So really cool there. You can get the deconstructed. Now, Figment, that purple dinosaur, purple dragon. Okay, cool, very cool.
Oh yeah.
This is his festival.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna see him everywhere on the park. That's a really cool bun cake, and those are freeze-dried Skittles.
There he is.
There's Figment,
Whoa.
playful little dragon.
I do. Does today's generation even know Figment?
Oh,
and Magic?
dude,
a little bit.
Figment is incredibly popular.
love
One of
it.
the things that's really cool is this is chalk art. Well, just wait till you see this. And a shout out to Adam the Woo. There goes the monorail. Okay, so what you have here is, look at this Kermit, dude. Look at that Kermit,
really
man.
good.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's chalk. I mean, unbelievable. So you get to see some of the artists actually applying their craft, and it is truly incredible what Disney does with this. This is what they're doing this year. This is different. This is Lorcana. Lorcana is a trading game, a trading card game. Mm-hmm. They have a whole scavenger hunt set up. They give you a pack of Lorcana cards. They encourage you to trade with other people in the park so that you can get these other cards. And if you do, you can turn it in and you'll get some exclusive cards out of it. So you go around the park, you do the scavenger hunt. It's really, really cool. Back to the food studios. Look at that. That rose is gorgeous.
I was going to say, this food is
nice dessert.
Yes. It's a chocolate mousse in there. Here's an Encanto dance celebration that they were doing. It's really, really cool.
We do not talk about Bruno on this show.
And Bruno showed up there. Look at that. Look at that. This is another great thing that they do. This is the Disney on Broadway. Wow. And this year they have all of the different Broadway costumes set up. There's the Aladdin lamp. So you can go, you can see everything else. Not only that, you can also see the makeup, how they do the makeup. You can also see some of the technical side of things, how they're doing the switchboard and everything like that behind the scenes. It is so cool, and the gowns and everything. And of course, if it's Festival of the Arts, you're gonna have to have some music, right?
Oh, yes.
So you got these guys out there drumming on the trash cans.
It's like a stomp.
You got this dude playing the saxophone. I mean, everywhere you go, there's something happening. It's a very, very lively environment.
Ryan, this is incredible. If people want to follow you for more information, how can they do it?
Yeah, it's a Rye Guy VA. You can hit me on
really
TikTok.
cool.
You can hit me on Instagram, baby.
Ryan,
Wow.
This is incredible as always. And I love how they find new ways, even for people who may have been there multiple times like you, a good reason to keep going.
Yeah, reinvent the
absolutely.
experience.
Dude, the grilled cheese. One of the best grilled cheeses I've ever had in my life.
The soup
was
was
at
good
Epcot.
too.
Oh, unbelievable. Great tomato soup. Figments on the can. There's all sorts of people washing that out in the bathroom. They were loving that.
All right, well, we're going to dream warm thoughts here on
Yes.
this
Yes.
Thursday evening. Thank you to everyone who joined us here on the Live Zone Primetime, tuned in on Fox Local. Fox 5 News at 10 is coming up next. That's Tony P. I'm producer Chris. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.